Hello Pioneers, in the last episode of our MEGAFACTORY build series, we designed a stunning glass factory to showcase our quantum encoders and their mesmerizing aurora-like beams. This episode, it's time to bring everything together. We construct two final rounded quantum encoder factories, one to produce power shards and the other to finally assemble the alien power matrices. After 10 episodes of preparation, will we finally unlock that juicy power bonus? Let's find out. With our lovely new oval factory over here with our quantum encoders hard at work making these superposition oscillators, we are pretty much one step away from making our alien power matrix. Our power matrix is comprised of SAM fluctuators, power shards, superposition oscillators, and excited photonic matter. Now, we have almost everything except for this last one, which is the synthetic power shards, but we have all the time crystals we need. We have the dark matter crystals. We should have the quartz. Now, our plan tells us we need 6 of this machine, so we need 360 quartz crystals, which is quite a lot, but if we need to get more, we'll make more. And that will get us our power shards. Now, we need to make 6 of these buildings, so it's basically going to be an identical build to this thing right here. So why don't we just get started? I'm gonna copy one of these corners and we're just gonna plop it right down. Now, before we just do it, the last thing that we did on these corners was build this fancy little roof thing over here. So we're going to modify our corner a little bit with the roof already attached. That way we don't have to manually build that. Load up our corner QE, I called it, I think. Wall QE. Why isn't this in any sort of order? So here's our corner. Now, to build out of this corner, we basically just need these. And they just stick out from here, basically. They go up 2, I believe. So we just build it up from each one of these turned bits. And they should form this crazy looking spiral window shape up the top. And is there any more we can build to help ourselves out? Well, we can build this corner piece, which basically just sits nice and snug here against that. Perfect. There it is, and that is our corner done. So we'll save that blueprint and we'll shove those corners in. Is there anything else that can help me out here? Not really. I mean, technically we have enough space to build the filler wall part of it as well if we wanted to, because the corner doesn't really take up that much space, but that's fine. We can just manually build that part. So now if I copy this blueprint, it'll come with the roof part, and we just got to align it properly. Now we want a 2-tile gap between the buildings to give it a little bit of breathing room. And the front of it is flush against this with a 2-tile gap. Fantastic. I believe that is indeed our corner. And then we get an analogous corner 2 tiles away, and it should be there, leaving 1 tile space around the back, but that should be fine. Now we need our 6 quantum encoder machines in here. So we'll copy that. I'm just looking at how many tile space I gave. Kind of barely any. I don't know what I was doing here. But basically a half a tile of space over here for some reason. And in terms of alignment, I think this is pretty much correct. And then it's like half a tile of space for some reason. It's not really aligned to the center of this building, is it? I think I can give it a full 1 tile space because there's a 1 tile space gap over on this side. Oh, I guess it doesn't fully align properly. That's all right. We'll just do this. Should be fine. I'm going to shift it across 1 tile. I don't think that's going to break anything. Oh, we need 6 of these essentially. There we go. And now we can seal up that wall. I'm going to do these filler walls first. That way I can know how many across we go. Now these filler walls, we can probably help ourselves out a little as well by getting these tiles in. We can't do the middle bit, but that's fine. We can just manually leave space for that, I suppose. Oh no, because it's meant to be symmetrical. All right, we'll just build a filler wall with these bits, and then we'll just manually carve out the window portion of it. Load up our QE wall blueprint, and then we will start tacking on some windows to this. So we need some flat windows to start with. And they kind of go on here. Sticking out 1, I believe. Hopefully I got that right. And they go all the way across. And then we just have 2 meter windows up going 3. like that, and then we just go across and we should be done. That's done. We'll save that blueprint, and then theoretically we should be able to just copy that wall blueprint in blueprint mode. Nope, blueprint mode won't work. We'll just shove it over here, and if we align that, that should be perfect. Everything lines up beautifully. We put one wall here, one wall here. We'll carve out the doorway manually. Then we'll just get a flip and we will put it on the other side, and that should line up perfectly as well. There's the one wall, and here's the second wall. Now that we have our walls in, we can line up our next corner. And we've got a beautiful oval building, nice and easy to build, just the way I like it. And the spacing looks reasonably similar to the other one. It looks a little bit better this time. Now I'm going to manually fill in this wall. We're going to make sure we've turned it the right way, which this is correct. If you're not familiar, the half foundations are directional for some reason. The front and the back aren't the same. See how this one's clear and there's like an X on the back. If you tile it the wrong way, it becomes very obvious once you color it in. So you got to make sure they are the correct direction. We need our little light strips. There we go. And then we just seal this window and we're done on this side. Paint the roof in. Now I think we added a couple more roofs on here just to complete the look. And then we needed to add our crossbeam. Let me just remind myself how the crossbeam works. I believe it's just a 2 meter foundation followed by a bunch of ramps. So it's 3 in. So 1, 2, 3. We just delete. Ooh, we delete all of this. And all of this. And then we should be able to build it from our own menu. So we'll get a 2 meter foundation there. And then does it come out as well? Yeah, I think it comes out one as well. And then we get our 4 meter double ramps and we tack it to the end of there, going up. Is that looking correct? Does it just hug the bottom of this really strangely? Yeah, it does. That's fine. It looks like there's like a tiny gap here for some reason. That's fine. That's how it is. Get our 2 meter ramps going across. Why do I feel like this is not correctly aligned? Ah, because this one's not correctly aligned. Let's just move that out one. Gotta follow your gut sometimes, and if it tells you it looks slightly wrong, it probably is slightly wrong. There we go. Now that's perfectly flush. Get a 2 meter foundation across there. Bring it down to the other side, and then 2 meter foundation out here. There's no room to build the back bit of this, so we only go down from the front. So we use these foundation bits like this, and we just go down, and it helps sort of frame the entranceway. Make sure we got it the right way, which is not this way. And just go all the way to the ground, and that pretty much does it. Fantastic. Give that a nice chrome finish. And that is one of our pillars done. We'll do the same thing on the other side. There's all the frame parts. Now we just color it in, and easy as that, we are pretty much done with the building part of it. Easiest building we've ever done. Let's not jinx ourselves though. Still got a doorway to put in, so we're going to delete all of this. Do we delete all of it? Let me have a look at what this doorway looks like. Yeah, we delete all of it, and then we put in basically 4 meter foundations around everywhere. Go across here, chuck in these foundations, and then we frame it with these, but we turn it a little bit, I believe, from both sides. Then we just bring some 4 meter foundations across here, and that should frame our doorway nicely. Now we'll copy our small billboard and add some doorway lighting, and we should be sweet. There, there, there. Oh, I missed. There and there. Here's our last two going on the ceiling part, and we'll just light that up. Nice and easy. Give that a beautiful chrome finish, and our factory is ready to go. All right, let's start getting the inputs and outputs for this lovely building. Oh, we haven't done this wall yet. Whoops, let me quickly finish this one off. All right, that filler wall is now filled. Get the recipes sorted. We are going to be making synthetic power shards. Fun. So we'll copy the settings across first. Now we need to start inputting all of this stuff. I need to make sure I have all of this stuff first. Let's put in the stuff that's easy, I guess. Well, first, before we can input anything, we need all our lifts and belts. So let me set that up real quick. The way we do this is a lift here, and then a lift that goes up too. And the same thing across all of these machines. We have to build this manually because a quantum encoder does not fit into a blueprint designer. So good luck with any sort of mass scale builds with this. It's all going to be completely manual. Lifts are in. Time for the splitters. One splitter for each of these lifts. Nice and standard. How's everyone enjoying Satisfactory so far? Have you guys finished the game and finished your mega cities yet? Or are you guys still going? Let me know in the comments. Alright, let's get those belts in. There's the first belt. Something's wrong with this second belt. I think I got one of these too high. Probably this one. Try that. There we go. That sits nice and flush. And then we just got to get this final belt, which is a little bit hard to target. But we'll get that in. And there's our 3 input belts. I think all the quantum encoder recipes have 4 inputs. There's actually no simple quantum encoder recipe out there yet. I'm sure the developers will still add new stuff to this game. Alright, so all the input belts are in. Oh, we haven't done the input pipe, so let's go do that next. Nice and simple, we just put a pipe on the back. Make sure it doesn't intercept anything. Now, how much photonic matter do these guys need? Of 60 each. So 6 of these only require 360, which means that we can do all of this in one pipe. That's nice and convenient for us. In that case, we'll just connect all of this together. And we're done. That's all the inputs done. Let's get the power in next. So I like to just do a power pole instead of a bar, because it looks fine to me. We just basically want a power line in a straight line. There we go. Now we just get all the power poles connected. Now, if I've done my alignment right, theoretically, I should just be able to take this power line and just bang it onto this power line without even bothering to do anything through the walls. It'll just look like it's going through glass, but hey, it's just a line. So what, right? That looks perfectly fine to me. And just like that, we have power. So the next thing we need to do is start getting our inputs in. We need time crystals, we need dark matter crystals, quartz crystals, and excited photonic matter. If you'll recall, like 5 or 6 episodes ago, we built this horrible setup to make diamonds and time crystals to make exactly 60 time crystals for this exact process. But it's not very extensible, that's why we abandon it. We see that the output here is exactly 60. So we're going to just say power shard is using up all of it. Try to abbreviate it so it all goes on one line. There we go, power shard. We're going to take all of these time crystals over here and we're just going to bring it smack bang into this factory. So either way, all of the input for this stuff is going to come out of the subfloor. So let's start bringing stuff to the subfloor. I think that one clicks in nicely, but then for some reason the ones in the back here don't click in nicely. So what we have to do is just roughly approximate where one goes and then put 2 floor holes there, and then we bring it up manually to line up with that, and then we bring that up 2 higher, and then we just get a belt that does a little bit of a janky non-straight turn but then gets into the machine. All right, fantastic. Well, I guess the easiest input to do is this one, so let's figure out where the time crystals are coming out of. I assume I've put it into the floor already, so then it should be nice and simple to get out. Sorry, that's the diamond input that's coming in the floor. I'm looking at the wrong thing. The time crystals are being output this way, around here, and here is the output. No, that's the input, and then the output is here. Either way, it's annoying, but that's fine. We can take that output and definitely push that into the subfloor. Let me see how I'm going to do that. Might as well just do it right here. Now, once again, I think this one doesn't quite line up to anything. So we'll just put a floor hole here, bring that in line. And then we'll just bring a belt that doesn't quite go straight into there. It should be fine. No one's going to notice that. Then we're going to go into our little subfloor. And then we're going to bang that down. Make sure it's lined up this way, lined up this way. Down you go into the real subfloor. Do we not put a door here? I think this place is missing a door. Got too excited finishing this build. Put a central steel door here. I don't know what kind of door I was meant to put here. I think it was meant to be just a regular fixed door, right? Yeah, that looks a lot better. Now into the subfloor, we're going to have to belt this out over this side. So let's start bringing it this way first. Bring our north-south belt along the ceiling. And try to find those floor holes. They're over there, so it's got a bit of traveling to do. Do one more segment. Now we're going to need some subfloor. So we'll bang that subfloor in there. Link that subfloor. Might as well fill this hole. Why not? And then we'll just pick one of these. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to pick this one. So we'll get that into this floor over here because we're going this way and all our belts run along the floor when they go east-west. And we're pretty much in line with this belt. Oh man, we're at a subfloor here too. Alright, well, more subfloor is no problem. Still barely just off. It's gonna bring it over here somewhere. And then we'll line it up there, bring it back 1, 2. And that is perfect for a lift. Then we should be able to get a belt straight in there. And that is one of our inputs done. That is our time crystals into the quantum encoders. Alright, that will slowly start filling up. Our next one is dark matter crystal. And our dark matter crystal factory is right next to us over here. So we should be able to bring that out and into that machine. Just checking where we're splitting the dark matter. I don't think we're splitting it anywhere over there, so that's fine. Let's just mark how much we're using. Oh, damn, I didn't even see how much dark matter we're using for this one. The power shards don't use much. The superposition oscillator is taking most of it, the 180, and the power shards is taking 60, and that's our total 240. So theoretically, we should have 30 available. And our split is being, I guess, done in the subfloor. So let's just go to the subfloor and split it and bring it over. It makes sense since it's already being brought in this direction. We just split it off the end of here. It doesn't really matter, does it? So if we build ourselves a splitter here before it goes into the machine, we'll relink that belt. And then we'll bring it down to the floor and then we'll bring it into the next machine. Shouldn't be too long of a travel time. Should be like right here, honestly. Bring that down and we'll get that belt in however which way it goes. That was a little bit too close. Give it a little bit of room and then we'll just hook that belt in there. And that is our second input done, dark matter crystals. Our third input, unfortunately, is not going to be that easy because our third input is 360 quartz crystals. So let's head over to our quartz crystal factory. Let's go for a walk through our factory and see if we can even do that. Many episodes ago, we built these two smelting towers. One of them is for silica, the white one, and one of them is for quartz crystal. But how much quartz crystal are we making? Available 420. Oh, whew. Lucky we had heaps. But that's pretty much all of it. And if we need to make more crystal oscillators, which we definitely know we need to, we're going to need to bring in more quartz. But that's a problem for future Alan. We're going to write power shard and we're going to take another 360. Therefore, we only have 60 left. I assume all of this is linked by Asked Alan. It's all green. Why are these yellow? Are they not getting input or are they not getting output? Ah, they're not even getting input. So we're not even producing that much. We're not getting enough raw quartz. Let me quickly troubleshoot this. So I traced all my production back down to raw quartz, and at our mine, it looks like everything is all good except for the transfer rate of the actual raw quartz. We don't have enough trains. It's too far away from base for it to keep up. So this is the first time I've added a new train because we know we need a lot of raw quartz. So we've added 2 trains. I've tried my best to time this train to start when the other train is unloading. I don't know if I've done it correctly. Probably not, because I can see the other raw quartz train is now coming. So what we might do is we might wait for this train to dock, and then we will pause this train temporarily. And when this train arrives over at base, we will start up this train again. Because we don't need 2 trains gravy trained back to back, right? So we'll turn off self-driving temporarily right before it enters the station, so we can't actually load anything, and that way it'll give our freight platform some time to load back up. See how fast they're loading? We just don't have the train throughput to transport all of them. Now we'll observe our map and look for our raw quartz train 2, and we can see that it's traveling across almost at the station. And once it stops traveling, we will send this train off, and they should, in theory, well, it's not going to be perfect because they're going to interfere with other trains, but we can observe it to see if they sort of stay on opposite ends of the world. So I can see it's pulling into the station now because it just made that north-south turn. And as it pulls into the station, we will kick this train off. I think it's just pulled into the station now. So that's the perfect time to go start your self-driving. All right, cool. Hopefully that will get us enough raw quartz. Now we need to move 360 raw quartz from our raw quartz factory over to the other side. So let's figure out the best way to do that. I like the idea of more tractors just to give our factory more life. Unfortunately, the drone paths that we're using is a little bit annoying because they don't fly up and over. That would be pretty cool to see a bunch of drones going back and forth in our factory, but for some reason it likes to jump over, disappear into the ground, and then reappear. So not the best. Probably better we use some sort of truck stop or something. We've already got a parking lot over here. We can probably repurpose that into a truck stop somehow. It would be nice, wouldn't it? Except this parking lot is not very well designed to be able to turn into a truck stop. Alright, now let's assume we have the correct amount of raw quartz coming out and going into here. We've got the splitter over here that sorts it, and then we've got the splitter over here that takes it somewhere. So we can move it via truck or we can move it via drone. What is better? The truck route is a little bit annoying because we don't have a tunnel here and we can't build a tunnel here. So to get this out by truck, it's gonna have to go out this way, around this way, loop out this way, all the way through there, and then around. All right, I guess we're just gonna have to do this by drone. Fortunately, by drone is reasonably easy because we can just get it up to a drone station and we'll plop a drone station on the roof. Let's go ahead and do that. So we'll get a drone port going and we'll see if a drone can keep up with an output of 360 per minute or whatever it requires. Hopefully it can. I don't have any specific design patterns for drone ports or anything, so we're just gonna build it as we see fit. That looks okay. Keep it nice and snug to the edge. Now a drone needs fuel, so we're gonna have to fuel it somehow. So I'm thinking we can just bring a fuel pipe up this way and just get it going into here somehow. Now these are a little bit annoying because it's got that little curved bit over here. So let's just get the fuel turned this way first and then onto here first. Or I won't do that. All right. Then in that case, we're gonna have to do some tricky stuff. If we get a conveyor thing here, where do we want the conveyor thing? Along here. Then we want a temporary conveyor hole here. It's going to be along the edge, which is around here, I think. I'm just going to put one there and then we'll line it up and see how far off we are. Half a tile off, almost. Almost got that first go. We'll put a conveyor hole there and then we'll use an infinite lift to bring our material out. We'll reverse that. What? Do these not line up? I don't even need an infinite lift. This lift can just go up all the way how high I want. What? Didn't realize how tall lifts can go. And then in theory, we should just be able to get the fuel in just like that. And now we just need to go underneath the world and get fuel into that drone station. We also need power. So we'll bring power up from somewhere. Probably just bring it up here. And then we'll just bring it to the ceiling. Doesn't really matter where we bring it to in the ceiling. We can just bring it there, and then we can connect that into the drone station. Now we have power, we just need to connect the fuel. So let's head into our subfloor. Did I turn all of these parking lots booths into subfloor? I believe I did. Now we need to find our main fuel line, which is reasonably close over here. Now it follows the main road this way, and then we need to kind of loop it back this way. Trying to find where my main road even is. It's over here. And then that's where we want our fuel line. So let's bring the fuel line around and we will get it linked to the main road, which is along here. I might actually just start from the main road because our main road doesn't go this way. So it's a little bit awkward. But to do fuel line stuff, we basically just take a conveyor pole and we use this unused middle layer of our factory to run the belt. That way it doesn't intersect with anything. And we generally follow a main road of some sort. So we'll bring a pole this way, and then we will keep bringing the conveyor lift this way until it meets that fuel line over there. When that's done, I'll come and talk about it. All right, we are done. We have split off the fuel line from over there to come along this road, and now the fuel runs over here. All right, this thing is completely in the wrong spot. Let me fix that height. 1, 2, 3. I think it's perfect. Then we'll get that in there. Nice and flat. Is that flat? Yeah, maybe it's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and flat. Don't want janky turns in our fuel line. All right, great. So that is fuel to our drone station. Now we just need a drone. Wait, where did I go? Get me through this door. All right, great. So let's slap on a drone here. This thing should now have fuel. We also want it to have quartz. So let's go bring some quartz into it. We'll use this splitter. And we'll just bring that into the ceiling. So we're going to have to go through here. I have to delete some of this. Make sure that is the correct alignment to this. Fantastic. Get that going up a bit further. Now, in theory, this shouldn't be an issue because it's going to come out of the floor hole there. There should be nothing there on the next floor. So we should be able to just get that straight into the ceiling. Get a lift in there. Now we should be in the subfloor of this ceiling. And that will be an issue because we need to figure out where these two holes meet. But we can do that by bringing this guy down. So we need the input, which is there. So we've got to put a floor hole here. Get the input in like that. And then we can go investigate in the subfloor how to join those two belts. So there's the hole, there's the other hole, and it should be a nice easy join. Like that. And now our quartz is on the roof getting delivered by drone. Now when we need to extend this setup, it's going to be a little bit of a pain because we're going to have to remove this drone port, extend all these belts, do all the stuff, all that fun stuff. But for now it should be all good. And I can see all these machines are now green with our two trains. Let's observe our map and see how our two quartz trains are going. That's our bauxite train. Quartz train 2 is there. It's heading off. Quartz train 1 is there and should be moving soon. Go on. Yeah, there we go. It just started moving. They're perfectly timed. So now we're getting twice as much quartz and hopefully outputting the correct amount of quartz crystal. Fantastic. That's going into the drone stop, hopefully. It is not. There's nothing in here. Why do you hate this? It is not loading anything. Is that because I haven't set the route? Or is that because there's something wrong with what I've done? Ah, of course. I haven't set the smart splitter to do anything. We got to set this to any so that we get some quartz in here. Yeah, now we got quartz in there. If you want to tell what's inside one of these hidden belts and stuff, you just press the dismantle button. And then if there is something to dismantle, it will show it in your dismantle. See how I've got quartz in here? Then I can dismantle it. But why does it say it's got quartz in here but doesn't actually have quartz in here? Is it in the drone? Yeah, there's definitely quartz here. There's definitely power. And there's more and more quartz in here. I think it's just a visual bug. See, every time I dismantle it, it shows like 248 quartz, now 259. But when I interact with the drone, it doesn't show anything. But that's probably because there's no target set. We're going to say this is quartz production. And then we're going to put an analogous drone port over there. Now this system also requires this excited photonic matter. So I'm going to quickly set that up. Then we can figure out where we can put the drone port. We might put it on the other side. I believe I just build the thing across there. And then I'm just trying to copy what I did here. Okay, it's not all the way across. We just use 1 meter foundations for this middle section. Like this. Like this. Now we can just use one converter, or we can make it look the same and use 2 converters. So a converter, it doesn't output anything. It just sits on top of here and it makes excited photonic matter. No input required, only output. Now we only need 360, so we don't need to produce that much. So we only need it to be at 180, so 90% clocked. Not that that's going to save us very much power, but we'll do that regardless. Now we get a pipeline across here, and then we bring it down and we connect it to the pipeline down there. Now we might as well just do it right in the center. Why not? Can we punch it straight down? If we punch it straight down through this window, where does this pipeline end up? I'm wondering if I can just put a junction like right here, and then it's just perfect. That would be hilarious. If I could just put a junction right here, and then it just goes through this window perfectly. We'll have to open up this thing to make it make sense. And then it just goes down. Oh man, that is close enough to perfect that I'm pretty much happy with it. Now, how did I power these puppies? We just put random power points anywhere against this wall, like such. And then we just dragged it down and into here somehow, like this. And then we just dragged it across and into any of these power poles, I think. And that was good enough for us, I think. But yes, that is excited photonic matter at 360, which should perfectly satisfy all of these over time. Our last thing is indeed a quartz crystal, so let's get that going. There is a big pipe in the middle of my entranceway, but I'm okay with that. I suppose our drone port can just go on the other side over here, right? Doesn't really matter where our drone port goes, but it should be on the roof, and we don't want it in the way of these things. So let's see how that fits. Yeah, it fits nicely here. Obviously, we don't want it just on glass, so we might have to replace some of this glass with something or elevate it. So we'll do the same thing as we did on the other side. Just elevating it like this, and then just using some 1 meter foundation to build a drone port on top. I'm just gonna do 3, and then we'll just delete the excess bits we don't need. Now we can do it this way, and then that way the belt can go straight down into the ground. We might need to get it into the subfloor. Where's the center of my drone port? That's like around here. So we'll stick it out like this. I think looks nice. And that takes up all the room, so we'll just leave it. Now we painted all these little extension bits white, so we'll follow suit. Do this bit in white as well. And there we go. There's our little extension, and it's got a drone port on top. Now we can set this thing. We can call it, we'll just call it by the name of what the factory is. So power shut. Fun fact, drone ports need power. So let's bring that down somewhere. Might as well just directly bring it down here. Doesn't seem to be any harm. And then we just bring it into one of these power things. Okay, that's a little bit too janky for my liking. At least get it straight up to a wall, right? Don't be that lazy. There we go. Now our drone port has power. Hopefully we can set this. No, we can't set it from here. If we set it from all ports, can we go quartz production to this port? Will that bring me the stuff I need, hopefully? While it's deciding whether it will bring it to me, let's get it into the subfloor. I mean, technically we could run a belt all the way to the start, but that's a little bit too far and too much for me. So I'm going to just do it into the subfloor. Ah, clicks perfectly. I love it. Back into the subfloor we go to join up our last bit to over there. So let's run this along the ceiling because that's the only direction it'll go for now. And then we'll run it across this way. We'll run this onto the floor this time. And even these 4 input buildings are not too much for us to handle. We don't have too much belt crisscrossies, which is great. You can think of this belting as like code cleanliness. Sure, you can get it to work, but how clean is your belt or code when you get it to work? Our drone has just arrived. Hello, drone. You're gonna drop me off some stuff? Yes, you're gonna drop me off a lot of quartz crystals, and then off you go and go get more quartz crystal. Now, over here, we have all of our material flowing in, and we are finally making our first power shard, but we are not done yet because we have to deal with the outputs and the residual output of dark matter. So let's start with the physical output. That is the easier thing to deal with. We're just gonna wrap it back on itself, and then we're just gonna output it all together that direction, because you know what's coming next. It is the alien power matrix. So we'll get a splitter going, and no, sorry, it's a merger. We get a merger going, and we want to merge it in that direction. Now, obviously, power shards are a building material, so we should really put this into a box when it's not being used. But at the moment, we're not producing any extra power shards. So, yeah, that is a separate problem that we will deal with one day. Let's continue to deal with the residual waste. So we'll put our junctions in, and then we'll just connect them to the machine first, and then I'm going to go do some maths in the background to figure out how I'm going to split this dark matter and put it into our dark matter helical tower to get it turned into dark matter crystals. Because that is a challenge all in itself. I'm going to just connect them for now. Now, the total dark matter produced is only 6 times 60, which is 360, which all fits into one pipe very neatly. But we need to split it so that these particle accelerators can handle it. So I'm going to figure out what the best way to do that is. Alright, there's still no clean way to split my dark matter residue into these pipes yet. So I've just... so the way these work is there's 3 down here that do the time crystal recipe, which is these ones. They take 150 each, so that those 3 combined take 450. Then I've got 3 particle accelerators just doing pure dark matter. They take 200 each, so a full pipeline of 600. Then I have 1.5 to deal with the rest, and they should take up the remaining 350. But we have 360 at the moment, so I've just cocked this one up to 100% for now. So in theory, we should be able to use this thing's pipe to do it. So for now, I'm just going to connect this thing over here and connect it to the only spare pipe we have. And when we finish our final process, then we can try to correctly split these pipes into these to get rid of all the dark matter residue. So we've joined all this. This should be 360. We're going to pipe that through the floor. Just like that. And then we're going to pull that pipe all the way to the other side and then connect it. Let me just figure out where the pipe should connect. Well, we'll start pulling it to the area first, and then we'll connect it. So let's get our pipe support down here. Line it up this way, line it up this way, shift it out too. Bring a pipe down, and then start bringing it over. Now to turn it over here, we need a pipeline support here. So say I want to turn it here, like this. Oh, we just do it in the center line. Why not? Don't have to conserve that much space. So to turn a pipe perfectly, you just shift it out 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just line it up. So it's perfectly on this line, and then in the center. Then you just do that, and in theory, that should turn perfectly there. I know it clips into this pipe a little bit, but that's fine. I don't really care. Then we're going to bring it over this way. Should really color these subfloor pipes as well, to tell it all these pipes are dark matter residue. Alright, I think we're here above our particle accelerators, so I need to get a pipeline out for the dark matter residue. Now, to just get all the systems going, we had just connected this pipe over. So, in theory, this thing that goes into the floor is where we want it. And then I might just disconnect this pipe temporarily, so that we can get rid of all the dark matter residue. So it's coming out of this floor hole. So we need to build ourselves another pipeline support. Line it up that way, line it up this way, shift it back, shift it forward too. And then we just need to bring it to this line up, so it's there. And we want to just shift it forward 1, 2, 3, 4, and that should be perfect. Connect that into here, just connect that into here, and that should get rid of all our dark matter residue from our other process over there. Now that's not enough to support these 3 time crystal ones, but then again, we don't need all our dark matter residue yet. The next step is to paint all our pipes. So we'll get this swatch and paint all of that this lovely deep maroon color, denoting that it is dark matter residue. And we'll do the same in our factory. And in theory, that should get rid of all our dark matter residue, and we can see the aurora beams now lighting up the sky, indicating that this is all working until it obviously jams up with power shards. But in the meantime, we can paint this. And that's pretty much it. That is our next quantum encoder factory done. We just need to put in the signage. So we'll select our icon for power shards. Then we'll put in our volumes, and in fact the one I copied from exactly has what we needed. Outputs 30, available 0, and they're all going to be turned into alien power modules. And that's it. That is our working quantum encoder factory for power shards done. Singularity, I keep calling these singularities, superposition oscillators done. Power shards are done. We just need one more factory to produce the very final product, which is the alien power matrix, and then we're done. And we'll probably build that factory right over here somewhere. And then that's pretty much the entire process. It's been a long journey. We've pretty much had to collect every single basic material and then craft it all into more and more advanced materials, tackling a bunch of logistic challenges along the way. But it's been fun, and we are finally there. And this is what our factory looks like. What do we think about factory? It's looking pretty cool, huh? Let's get to work on our very last quantum encoder factory that will complete this very long production chain to make our alien power matrix. Get some flooring in first. Makes sense, all of this can just be part of one big block, I guess. And our alien power matrix factory can sit right here. I think I want to start it from the front, and then we'll see where it ends up along the back over there. Or should we start it along the back and see where it ends up in the front? Yeah, let's just start it in the back. Let's get rid of some of this and build our road. Let's get our first corner in. Get that aligned perfectly. Actually, that's a little bit too far out. It's actually over here. With a 2-tile space. We need a 2-tile space out here. Now, I believe we've built up to enough for 4 of these quantum encoders, so we'll build to that spec. Can put the input in from this direction, it's fine. And then we can just figure out how far out to push this, probably from the first tile over there. Line that up here, lines up there. That looks like an even amount of spacing to me. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we can make this factory smaller, or we can make it bigger. It doesn't really matter. There'll be some free space out here. We can put a drone port or a parking lot or some decorative element out here. Maybe we'll just do a nice and small factory in that case. So we want to seal off the factory around here somewhere. And that looks like a decent amount of space. Our filler wall in that case is going to be a little bit different, but that's fine. We can manually build a wall. It's going to be a smaller version of the same factory. Let's see what the filler wall actually looks like here. So it's like 1 tile off either way. Okay, it's a very, very small factory. It actually looks pretty decent. I don't actually mind it. We just basically need to shift this beam out to the side. So we just grab this and just build it up. And then we'll just copy this across. Nothing complicated, nothing fancy. Make sure it's facing the right way. We'll fill this in as well, and then we'll work on some sort of doorway for this. Get the light beams back in. Paint that in chrome. Get our glass in. Copy this across. Now we'll just do something similar on all 3 of these other sides. These fillers are just very, very straightforward. We'll just fill that in. Fill that in. Fill in our glass. Paint that in black. And get our light beams in. Oh wait, these 2 walls are wrong, isn't it? The top wall is actually these things. So we'll fill that in. Get our slanted windows in, repaint that, and do the same thing on the other side. So like that. That. Windows in. It's all getting a little bit repetitive at this point, but whatever. It is a factory game at the end of the day, so you'd expect some level of repetition, right? Alright, we just gotta fix this last wall now. Alright, windows, walls, and lights are in. Just gotta get that roof in, and then we're done. I forgot to paint this one. Same standard factory as all of these other ones. We don't have the crossbeam in this case, so we'll just carve out a wall. This wall's going to be interesting because it's either 1 or 3 wide. Because we'll just carve it out 3 wide. And we can do the same sort of pattern where we put in one of these, and this time it can be out half a tile, I guess. And then we'll just bring that up. Make the entrance of this one slightly different. It's fine. Variety is the spice of life after all. Seal off that top bit. That's looking like a nice entrance to me. We'll paint all that in. And then we of course need our entranceway lights. So we'll plop that in over here. Same way we always do. Oh wow, these ones really stick out up the top there. Nah, that's fine. It's not visible. Put them along the top as well. There we go. Let's light that up. And that's a beautiful little entranceway. Alright, we've got our building in. Let's get this puppy on the line. So we are making our alien power matrix at last. They take SAM fluctuators, power shards, superposition oscillators, and excited photonic matter. Now it only requires 240 excited photonic matter. So we only need one converter overclocked a little bit. So where can we build that converter? Oh, we should have extended this factory a little bit. Damn it, now it's too late. Well, I suppose we can just build the converter on the roof as we normally do. Trying to figure out a nice spot for it. Probably just like here will do. We'll elevate it a little bit. Get a platform going across this way and this way. And then we'll grab our converter and we will punch it in right here. Centered as we can. No overhang there. Paint that in white. There we go. That's the converter in. Let's get the inputs into this thing. Oh man, my converter's on the wrong side this time. Damn it. Okay, maybe we'll put our converter on the other side. Should have done my inputs, outputs first. I've shifted my one converter out the back here. Let's get the recipe set. So we're making excited photonic matter and we need 240. So we'll overclock that to produce 240, the exact amount that we need. Now let's get the inputs in for all of these machines. We've set all the recipes, I believe, and we need to do the same thing. It's still 3 physical inputs and 1 gas input. So it works exactly the same way. There, there, there. Get all our lifts in. Next we get our splitters in. So I guess our input can come from, it doesn't really matter. 2 of my inputs are there and the other one's over there somewhere. They can all come in from this side, that's fine. So we'll get our splitters in. Next we'll get our belts in. Final belt, a little bit hard to find the input for, but we'll get that in without any issues. And then we're on to pipes. Get our junction in. Get our pipes in from the machines to the junction, not like that. Come on, give me the snapping point. Then off you go. We can just connect all that up and then somehow pipe that into the roof. Now this, where this pipe comes out is a little bit awkward. I'm just gonna go up to the roof and figure out how to bring that down. It's gonna go backwards in first, like this. That looks horrid. Maybe it should just come through here then. We can bring it from the outside by putting our converter facing this direction instead. Gotta adjust your builds every now and then to make everything make sense. And then we can just punch it through one of these walls. Get it down to here first, and then we'll just cut out one of these windows, and then it can just go through here. Like this. And then if we put some sort of junction like in line with this, Theoretically, we should just be able to horizontal vertical that. Oh, it doesn't like it because it's too close. You silly thing. So I'll have to bring it down like this. And then we'll have to straighten it this way. Silly. Why don't you like that? Will you go down this way? That it likes. It was too high apparently. Good enough for me. That looks fine. If we really wanted, we can pipe hole this. Make it look like it's actually coming through the window properly. It's just a pretend pipe hole. It's fine. And that is one of our inputs down. We should probably get power to this whole majiggy. We're getting there, guys. We are getting there. How exciting. We are finally... It's been a long journey. We are finally at this alien power matrix thing. I know our original mission was to make nuclear power, and we've kind of diverted from that a little bit to make this alien power matrix. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just very quickly make some alien power matrix. How hard could that be? How hard could that possibly be? Little knowing that I need every single material on the map to make it. But that's fine. It is now done. Can connect that somewhere here. And then I need to connect it through there somewhere. So I need it going like around there, and then we can connect it to that other machine on the other side. If we want, we can get it going through the wall first, and then going into here. That looks a little bit better than it just going through the glass window. Now we have power. We've got to connect power up here as well. Got to bring that down somewhere, then bring that into the factory somewhere. Or should we just bring it directly into one of these? Doesn't look too good. None of this looks too good. Let's just bring it directly in. It's fine. Set the recipe, put that at 240 again, like I did before. And in theory, that should be our first input in there. Hooray! We're getting excited photonic matter. Let's get these other inputs in. So here are where the inputs go. So let's get them into the floor. I usually do it on the other side. That's why I'm having a little bit of issues here, but that's fine. We can just put in our various floor holes. We'll get one lined up to this one, and then two lined up to these ones. We know they don't line up properly, so that's fine. And then if we get it to the correct height, it should be happy. And in you go with a slight turn, and then we've got all our inputs in the subfloor ready to be joined up. All right, let's go find the rest of our materials. Should be pretty straightforward. Let's start with the closer one first. Always start with your closest material first. And that is our 30 power shards. Now they're just sitting over here waiting to be output somewhere. So we'll get it into the subfloor. There's no need to do any splitters yet because obviously all of our material is just currently being used up. So we don't need to do anything fancy with them. All we need to do is get it from the subfloor there to the subfloor there. So we'll bring it out this way first, and then we'll bring it straight out this way. And then we'll see which one connects the best with it. Probably this one. That's not how we do it. Get some more subfloor in there, and we'll bring it down to the ground so we can run it east-west. There we go. Bring a belt out this way, and then we'll... Oh, it pretty much lines up perfectly. 1, 2. You don't even need this belt. That should just direct connect like that. And that is our next material in, and that is the power shards. Alright, singularities next. Singularities. I keep calling these singularities. Superposition oscillators next. Again, we don't have an output for them yet, but that's soon about to change. Let's get a floor hole in there. That is not lined up. I think it's there. Get that in there, and an output is ready to go. We'll run it around the back this time. So we'll go from here, run a belt out this way, and then we'll run a east-west belt this way. Makes sense to use this input. Bring it to the floor as well. And we'll go this way. Take the belt out to here somewhere. And then we're pretty close. So we want it to turn there. So we'll go back 1, 2. And then we'll bring that up and into there. And that should just happily sit in there. And that should be our superposition oscillators in. And that is another material down. And we've got one more to go, which is the SAM fluctuators, which is all the way over there. And I have no idea what's going on with them because we built this 17 episodes ago. So I'm going to go figure out where they're coming out and how I can get them going. Obviously, I need to now stop routing my stuff into here. So I've got to fix this first so our SAM fluctuators can continue to be produced. So I believe I just remove that, get that going down there. And then we will start continuing to produce SAM fluctuators. And then SAM fluctuators can go into the floor somewhere. Let's check out what this system does. So this smart splitter's overflow is going that way. And I need to output this into the floor somewhere. So I guess right here will be it. Like this. And then now it's in the floor. I'm going to bring it all the way to the other side of the world. Do I have an entrance to my subfloor anywhere? No. Let's make one. We'll immediately seal it up. And then there is my thing. So I need to bring it to the floor. We'll just do something wacky like this. But that should be able to be run all the way to the other side of the factory now. Should be a very, very clear path. Might clip some of these supports, but doesn't really care about the supports. Make sure there is SAM fluctuator on this belt. There is indeed. Now over here somewhere we need to turn it. I believe it's there. So let's keep going. And that's about right. So let's get subfloor going this way now. Bring this input as a north-south belt along the ceiling. And we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. Can you taste those alien power matrices yet? I hope you can. Is this too far? I think I'm going too far. Going a little bit insane. The SAM fluctuators are right here. So we'll go back 1, 2. And then we'll take it up to the ceiling here. And we'll get those to meet. And then we'll go check, and that should be all our 4 inputs done. Yep, we're getting power shards, we're getting superposition oscillators, we're getting excited photonic matter, and now we're getting SAM fluctuators. Fantastic. Alright, let's get the outputs sorted. I think this is the first alien power matrix I've actually made, even with my Let's Play series, because we never actually made these in our Let's Play series. I'll get the merger going this way, probably. I have no idea where I'm going to build my actual power augmenter things yet, but that's fine. And of course we need to deal with the crap that comes out of it, this residual dark matter. There's 240 of it to deal with, but we will deal with that in a second. That's the complicated part of this. We're going to figure out how we're going to route all of these pipes of residual dark matter to make up some sort of, like, go into those particle accelerators to get rid of all of it. But here is the pipeline ready to go. We can just pipe it along the outside here, I guess, and then we'll pipe it in there somewhere. So at least let's get it to the floor and get it close. And then we'll figure out what to do with it. There we go. Before I forget, let's get that painted. Got to use our ugly, ugly purple paint for this. Alright, we are done. These guys are creating it. Look at that. Our alien power matrix, our first ones ever. Fantastic. Alright, I'm going to do some maths and figure out how this piping is going to work to get rid of all of this dark matter residue. And then once I figure it out, we will implement it together. You know what? Let's figure this out together. So we've got 4 of these making 60 each. I'm just going to put some signs to help us out here. So I'm going to write 4 by 60, which equals 240. Now we're going to go figure out what's coming out of here. That's 6 by 60, which is 360. I mean, this is already looking kind of juicy because 240 plus 360 is exactly 600, which looks great. Then over here, we've got a very, very awkward amount. So the dark matter residue is 125 by 6. So here's what we have. I mean, it would make sense to combine these two together to get one pipeline of 600. So we'll just combine for one 600 pipeline. And that's going to feed into exactly three of our regular particle accelerators. Because the 3 particle accelerators are 200 each. And I think the time crystal recipe is 150 each, right? Matter crystal. So we have 3 of these regular dark matter crystal ones that are doing this recipe, which takes 150 each. So we'll write that and then we'll somehow split that into the rest. Now this doesn't split evenly, right? So we're gonna have to split it based on this. So what's the closest we can get to 450 here? So if we split this into 3 or 4 pipelines. So if we do 4 pipelines of 125, that's 500. If we add another one, that'll be 625, so that's too much. And this one takes 450 only. So I guess we can just overclock this pipeline to 500. And it'll just consume a bit more time crystal, which we have. That's probably not a good idea. But what else can we do? If we did that, then we have another one left. We have 2 left, and that's going to be 250. And there's no way to split that anymore. So if we combine the output of these 2, that can fuel 3 particle accelerators. And then the rest we need to fuel into these ones. Oh, God. That's super complicated. There's no, like, clean way to do this, unfortunately. Yeah, I think the cleanest way that I can think of is just by overclocking one of the time crystal ones, and then we'll just waste a bit more time crystal just to get it done. Alright, that's the plan. So theoretically, if I merge this pipe with this pipe first, then we can pump it into the 600 pipe. So let's go ahead and do that. Where did I put my pipe output? Over here. Let's get some more subfloor in then. So that'll go somewhere here, and that's lined up. Bring it forward too. Get that pipeline down. Now we'll bring that across. Now at some point we want to merge it with this pipeline, so we'll figure out how to do that. So over here we need some sort of junction. Doesn't really matter where we put it. We can just put it along here. So we want to turn this somewhere here. To turn this pipe we can just do it along this row over here. So we just bring it over 1, 2. And we can turn that pipe into here. And then we can bring it straight into a junction that goes here somewhere. Just like that. Now these 2 pipes merged together should be our 600. And it looks a bit confusing here, but it's this pipeline over here. And currently it's going up there, but we don't want it to go into this one anymore. I believe we want it to go into this one, but let me just double check. I think I might repipe some of these. Oh, but then repiping it is going to be such a pain as well. No, I don't think I need to repipe it. 600 is one of them, and then we split the other one into these 2. Yeah, I don't need to repipe it. So the 600 one is these 4 ones. So it should be this 1, 2, wait, that's not the right one. It should be this one, 1, 2, and 3. And those pipes are being merged over here. It's going into this one. So we're going to have to figure out where that is. I'm just going to go down through the subfloor here because it's getting a little confusing. So that's this pipeline that's currently connected here, but we don't want to connect it to this one anymore. And that's our first pipeline dealt with. That's our 600 dealt with. Now we need to split the one coming out of here into 4 and 2. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So, oh, it's already split into 4 and 2. How convenient for me. Let's see where those pipes are going. So I believe that this is the 2 and this is the 4. So the 4 was currently going into there, but that's the 500. We want that one to go into the one that's doing the time crystals, which I believe is this one. Let me just double check that. So yeah, this one's doing the time crystals, so we'll get that one going. We don't need this connector anymore. So that's this one over here. We'll bring it down. Just like this. And then I believe that's the 2 pipeline, and that's the 4. So we need to bring this pipeline. It should be carrying 500 through there. Oh man. This pipeline is in the way, but that's fine. This is going to look really confusing if I don't fix it, but I don't think I'm going to fix it. So we'll just line it up there. it can just go in there and then into there. We'll have to fix this pipeline to make it go like maybe a bit higher. Like there instead. This horizontal to vertical doesn't like this thing. That's fine. We'll just curve it up a bit. Better than before, right? So this pipeline's not in the way. Lucky it's all gas, so we don't have to worry about elevation. And now we've only got this last little pipeline to deal with. And I believe the last little pipeline's already going into the right spot, which is this one, which is going all the way up to the very top. Now we just need to clock these machines correctly. So at the moment, these can deal with 450. We need to increase one of them by 50. So if I do this to 150%, nope, 200%. So we're using up another 30 time crystals. Let's see if we can supply that. This whole factory was just supplying time crystals to do this. Now we're producing even more dark matter crystals. Maybe they'll be useful in some other process. Outputting 150. Wait, is that all being used up? These are using 30 each. So now we're using 120 of our 150. Let me write that down before we forget. Available 30 left. Not that I'm not really sure what we're using time crystals for anyway, but that's fine. But more importantly, we need to make sure all the dark matter is dealt with, right? So let's calculate quickly. That uses 300 plus 150 plus another 150. That's too much. 150 is consuming 225. 100 is 150. That's 450. I just needed to get to 200. I'm confused. 125%? Nope. 130%? 135%? Yeah, that's close enough. It's consuming 40.5. So our target output is 80 dark matter. Yeah, that's exactly 200 and uses 40 time crystals. So it uses a little bit more. Let me just edit my notes so I don't confuse myself. So we're using up 100 and available should be 50 in theory. All right, let's sanity check that one more time. So this one is consuming 150. This one is 200. And this one is 150. So that's 500. That'll consume all of that dark matter. And then we'll check the next ones. So the next three is 200. Wait, not that one. I checked these three, right? Yeah. So then the fourth one is this one. That's 200. 200. 200. That'll consume the full 600. And then in theory, we have two machines of 125 left, which is 250. That's 200. And then we just need to consume 50 more. So we can clock that down to 25%. In theory, that'll consume 50 more. So now we're producing 5 and 25. All that dark matter crystal is being combined over there, but it is overproduced. So before we send it off into the floor, we need to get rid of some of it first. So we need some sort of splitter over here. So we'll get a smart splitter. Doesn't like that smart splitter. Why? Slightly offset. And then we're going to get that into a sink. Try to line that up to the smart splitter. Does that look lined up? I think it's there. Bring it out a little bit just in case it needs room. And then we'll bring that in there. And we will call that one the overflow. And that way the dark matter crystals should continue on their merry way. Well, once I put the power to this, like that. You can get rid of some of this crap. Not that one, but we'll delete that in a second. Let's just make sure this is all working first. Once all that dark matter crystal empties out, then we should be all good. Now, our output was boosted slightly. We should probably make note of that. Well, not really, because it got reduced over there. So we should still be outputting a similar amount. But these should all be running continuously now and chewing through all of our dark matter residue. And hopefully that will keep all of these factories running continuously. And I believe they are, because if we look at them, they're all happily running away. Obviously, the alien power matrices aren't being consumed at the moment. But yes, so we are pretty much done. Should we do a little sneak peek of how much? Like, I've done all of this work, and I'm prepared to be very, very disappointed at how much the alien power matrix actually provides in terms of power. I know it's a multiplier, so of course the more power you have eventually, the better it's going to be. But let's just see. Let's just bring it out here and let's just put it into a thing and see how much it actually does. Because I'm very curious, right? I'm trying to like put a reasonably straight belt. Now, I'm not going to cheat with this because I'm going to build as many of these as I have summer sloop, assuming I've collected all the summer sloop around the map. So I'm not going to build like a billion of these and that'll just be like infinite power. I might as well just turn power off at that point. But we will build a correct amount according to how many we actually have. So let's chuck that in there and let's get that going in here. And we can finally verify at last what percentage is this thing doing. I think we do need to connect it to some sort of power source. Just connect it to the power pole in here, I guess, temporarily, and then we can see it consuming our alien power matrix. And check it out, it's got light beams everywhere. It's got 4 of these light beams shooting at it. They consume 5 per minute, so at our current production we can only produce 2, and the power boost is 57,000 megawatts. Holy crap. I guess it pays for itself. I mean, we are using a lot, but I mean, we can do 2 of these now, right? So that's maybe like, I think we were sitting at 150k before, but that's going to boost it a lot. We're getting another 42,000 megawatt boost, and of course it's going to multiply based on what we're doing. So yeah, we're going to have 2 of these puppies boosted, and then we'll probably just put a bunch more in that are unboosted. One day we can figure out how to quadruple the volume of this, but at the moment it looks pretty hard to do, quadrupling the volume. But yes, that is our alien power matrix machine there. And we can build a little thing for it, I guess, at some point. I was thinking of putting my alien power matrix on the roof over here and then just doing like little spires for them. But we'll figure that out next episode because we're going to have a few of these. And I haven't decided how many of these we have. Well, we obviously want to do a fair amount of these based on how much summer sloop exists, because even though I'm making my life easier by not using building materials, I want to make this playthrough realistic for you guys that aren't cheating, that you can actually go and collect the summer sloop all around the map and build an appropriate amount of these power augmenters and not just an infinite amount of them. But if each one boosts by 57,000 megawatts, that's pretty insane. But yes, we have completed our loop. Look at our beautiful quantum encoders encoding away. We just got to put some signage on there, cross the T's, dot the I's, and then we'll close out this episode. And we'll of course continue on and set those power augmenters up next episode. All of that just to produce 10 alien power matrix. Oh man, that's insane. So much work for so little output. Oh, it's still in the thing again. That's fun. I'm a master at getting these signs to go the right way now. If anyone wants tips, ask for it in the comment section. I'll teach you how to do it. Might make a separate tutorial video on how to erect signs the correct orientation. Alien power matrix, our first ones of the series. And there we go. We are outputting 10 and obviously available is 0. We don't even need to write that because we know they're all being consumed. No matter how much alien power matrix we're using, it's always going to be consumed. So a normal one just looks like this. It just like blasts the summer sloop, but the ones with the alien power matrix, their arms extend out. That is really, really cool. Look at them go. Someone told me not to go stand in the summer sloop or bad things will happen to me, but I'm going to heed the warning of my commenters and not stand in there. Our building is complete, and if we look at our factory, it's looking fantastic. I really like it. I don't know about you guys, but this is looking awesome to me. I think we will leave it here this episode. I'm really liking our factory. There's still plenty to do. We still haven't got nuclear power online. We will do that at some point. But next episode, we will focus on getting some sort of cool structure to house all our alien power augmenters. So if you don't want to miss out on that, don't forget to leave a like and sub, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.